The story of Marvel's destiny starts off with A-Day. You're put into the shoes of a young Miss Marvel at a celebratory event being held by the Avengers for the Avengers, where you come and look at cool statues of them, get into contests, and play cool little mini games themed after the heroes, such as shooting Iron Man's blaster, smashing down with Hulk's fist as hard as you can, and picking up Thor's hammer, even though you ultimately fail every single time you do it. There's also this weird bullying altercation which you get into here. Just take a look at it.
I'm sorry.
This contest should only be for the real fans.
Hey, what? I'm not a real fan. I deserve to be here too.
You really think that the Avengers read your little story? Get out of here.
What? In the middle of their grand unveil of the brand new technology they've been working on, something goes kaboom on the bridge and Kamala and her papa must flee while our heroes rush to the scene. Here we are dropped into the mission that we've seen countless times already through advertising, and we already know how this part goes. Start off beating some baddies as the God of Thunder, and my personal immediate first thought was, how in the fuck are these guys taking hits from Mjolnir? But nonetheless, it's a video game, I won't harp on it. You then play as Iron Man, firing off repulsor rounds, hitting enemies with a satisfying sound of metal, and flying around causing as much havoc as you can. Before we are put into the stretch jeans of our favorite not-so-jolly Green Titan, who was just straight up breaking bones and murdering people, but we let it go because he's a good guy. Aww. Next, we got our boy Cap, holding down the inside of the Chimera, trying to prevent the attacking forces from hijacking it. And finally, we have Black Widow, who's in a pretty good boss battle against Taskmaster. Honestly, this is one of the cooler scenes of the game, and the last cool scene you're going to see for a minute, so you better enjoy it. I feel like this mission was purposefully crafted like this to show you the best of what they could offer you in Marvel's Avengers before they proceed to never reach that height again in this story at all. Honestly, the only thing this game gets right and what it stands on is the combat, so let's start there. Iron Man feels great to play as, even though you can tell they worked hard to limit his capabilities, because if they were on par with what's displayed in movies and comics, he would literally just fly above everyone 24/7 and rain down destruction. That's honestly kind of what you do with him already, but you do have a meter that drains when you fire your range attacks, and the only way to charge it is to land and melee away until you can refill that meter and return to the sky to rain down that sweet death. Next is my personal favorite character, Thor. My God, is he satisfying to play with. His power to control lightning is not only extremely fun and effective against pretty much every single enemy, it's also a joy to watch on your screen. The sparks are just flying everywhere, and every time you hit somebody with Mjolnir, you hear that heavy metal clank and it sends out more electricity from the hammer. It's just such a spectacle to see. They definitely knocked it out the park with Thor. I'm not going to lie there. They knocked it out the fucking park. The developers really did a good job of really making you feel like you're the Hulk. Playing as him is honestly all the fun it should be, as you're just straight up manhandling enemies and moving like a walking force of nature as you're just beating the living shit out of everything you come across. It's the most fun I've had with the Hulk since Hulk Ultimate Destruction on PlayStation 2, if you guys have ever played that game.
Comics since the 1970s. Have always been a big fan of the series, and was really looking forward to this game, and I had a legitimate reason to, because it's pretty much everything that I've always wanted in an Incredible Hulk game.
The only gripe I will say I have with him is the fact that the fucking screen shakes like you're in a 10 magnitude earthquake every time you do an attack with him. And while I know it's for the effect, I really shouldn't be seeing it to the point where it's literally giving me a headache. But other than that, he's a flawless character, and I really enjoy the design of him in this game. Black Widow not having superpowers automatically makes her feel more grounded as a character, and because of that, I personally did not feel powerful when I was playing as her. In fact, I even felt weak against the enemies that were there to contest the likes of Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor, armed with these meager pistols and landing these weak melee attacks. Just wasn't a fun experience for me. I died a lot, so maybe I'm just salty, but I don't think so. The other characters are obviously more fun to play as, and it shows. I do believe there's fun to be had with this character if you put the time into it, of course, and upgrade her and learn her combos, but for me personally, I just wasn't as interested knowing I had some people with superpowers or an iron suit to choose from. Captain America also feels more grounded, but his abilities and his shield make up for it, honestly. His shield toss is very fun to use and effective, and his core melee combat is satisfying watching him use his shield to finish up pretty much every single combo he does. While he does feel a little similar to Black Widow because of the whole no superpowers thing, his shield actually does a lot to not make him feel so weak. And because of that, I had more fun using him than I did with Black Widow, but at the end of the day, I'd still want to play as anybody else besides those two. And finally, back to the young Miss Marvel, whose combat I thoroughly enjoyed. Kamala is surprisingly fun to use, with her power to stretch any and every limb of her body being very nice to play with in combat, using it to hit faraway enemies, throwing your fist to deliver heavy slaps and punches, and kicking down on enemies with a boot that looks like it weighs a ton. Her embiggen ability is the icing on the cake for her, as she grows taller than everyone in the field and gets a massive damage increase that allows her to wipe out everything that's in her path. And that's where the good news stops.
The source. And shut it down.
Back in 2018, Insomniac Games released Marvel's Spider-Man to critical acclaim from pretty much everyone, myself included. I finished the main story twice and all the DLC and loved every minute of it. The game featured an extensive list of suits from past Marvel comics that you could switch between with ease. You unlock the suits pretty much straight from the core gameplay, doing things like stopping crime, taking down enemy bases, and some from just completing story missions. There were 32 suits in the base game and 37 after the DLC. No boring, tedious tasks or grind just to change the way you look. You unlock the cosmetics right through the core gameplay. A good idea, right? Well, fast forward to 2020, where we have a fucking vendor in Marvel's Destiny selling us emotes, nameplates, and skins.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
The ones under specialty are 7,000 of these units you collect called comics, and I finished the entire campaign and I still don't have enough comics to get one skin. This is not a welcome grind. This is fucking stupid. There's absolutely no reason I should have to play for what seems to be another 4 hours just to unlock one skin. Add that to the time I've already spent in this game, and that's essentially 11 to 12 hours just to unlock one specialty skin. On top of that, they have these challenge cards which are literally just battle passes for each character. They progress slow as fuck. As you can see, my Thor challenge card is only at 2%, even though I've completely finished the main story of the game and my Thor is at level 12. But of course, I can buy fucking tier skips with real money in a game I've already paid $70 for and only got a generic 6-hour campaign out of. This is so fucking stupid, and further adds to the case that this game is a blatant cash grab, considering, like I said, I have finished the game and my pass is only at 2%, which I suppose is supposed to incentivize me to give them more money to skip these so I can get to those skins. Fuck these guys. I'm not doing it. You shouldn't do it either. This does not make sense for this to be here.
But wait, there's more.
And to complete this shitty trio of shops, there's the gear vendor who sells you gear upgrades to make your character stronger. Now, while you can only get the resources necessary to shop at this vendor through actual gameplay, it's still stupid in my opinion because it just adds to the endless grind that these developers want you to get into for some reason in these generic missions that they flooded the game with. We're superheroes. We don't need to farm resources and grind out for a fucking salesman to give us things we shouldn't need. Another big issue I have are these bland, dead, lifeless levels you play on throughout your story. This is supposed to be a post-apocalyptic world filled with people who just obtained superpowers and supposedly chaos and violence is everywhere. Instead, you drop into these boring areas that all look the same with assets being used over and over again and what are essentially ghost towns, or what I liken them to, movie sets with no actors or extras present. It's literally a lifeless fucking world. The game is also filled with all these ridiculous fucking bugs and glitches that can completely hamper your progress and completion of a mission. Here's one I ran into after using Black Widow in this one part for like an hour because I kept dying. After I finally defeated all the enemies, my camera just started doing this thing for absolutely no reason, and it would not stop until I decided to reload the checkpoint and fight all of those enemies all over again.
It's bugging out so hard. Bro, I'm so glad I'm getting this on video. This buggy fucking shit.
There was also this fucking crash that happened to me and my friend 30 minutes into a mission, causing us to have to restart the entire thing. There's also this persistent bug that always pops up in harm challenges for me, which is basically this game's version of horde mode. Essentially what happens is an enemy gets stuck under the map and I can't attack them or defeat them, which means I can't progress the round, which means I can't complete the harm challenge, and then I have to start all over and recomplete all of the rounds that I've already done just because of that one stupid glitch.
Bruh.
There are these two flying sections, and while these are infamously criminal in almost every single video game we play, the first one and this one isn't so bad. It's not amazing, it's not great, but it's not complete shit. The controls feel wonky and awkward, but you can kind of get the feel for it and have a nice time flying through this part, especially with the enemy shooting at you. That adds to the challenge. You can shoot back at those guys, and they can shoot you out the sky if they hit you and they're lucky enough. Whoa. However, the second one is a complete catastrophe of a mission. It gives you the impression that you're controlling Iron Man, but it really feels like an on-rails little flight simulator, and your only objective is to hold the camera steady on this red dot that's in front of you. This whole section feels terrible, the controls feel unresponsive, and the whole part just feels like it was forced in because they couldn't think of another way to progress the story forward in the direction that it was going. This shit is bad. After you finish the story, you're supposed to go into this Avengers initiative mode and continue the work of the Avengers. But honestly, by this point, you've seen all the game has to offer, as the missions here are literally just harder versions of the one you've already played. Oh, and like I said, the main story campaign is super short. You'll be looking at this screen scratching your head before you know it. I remember back when this game was announced in 2017, I was filled with this sense of excitement and joy, but over the past 4 years, all they've done was think of stupid, unnecessary systems to implement into this game so they can make it into a live service and try to rake in cash. Like I said, the only redeemable quality of this game, in my opinion, is the combat. Other than that, this game is hot garbage. Save your money, but if you must see this for yourself, then wait till it goes on sale or something. Trust me when I say that this game is not worth the retail price.
Refund! Easy, easy, easy. Refund. Refund.
So like I said, guys, the only good thing about this game was the combat. The missions are all the same, the enemies are all the same, the areas you fight in are all the same. The game is buggy as hell. The campaign is super short, and to think that this game is supposed to launch in May earlier this year, but it got delayed so they could finish working on it. Well, I don't know what they were working on, but they definitely didn't finish it. So yeah, guys, I would skip this one or wait for a heavy, and I mean a heavy fucking discount. And to Square Enix, all I have to say is,
I trusted you!
thank you for watching. If you made it to this point, I assume you enjoyed the video. That was actually the very first video I have worked on in my life. It took me 24 hours to produce that. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I have a lot more coming out on this channel. Be sure to follow me on my Twitch. I will link that in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.